Scientific materialism is a strange philosophy for everyone to be attached to. Why should it be the preferred philosophy? Of all the philosophies, it's the one that allows the least hope relative to any matter whatsoever. That's what Adidas said, and I agree with him. Materialism, or more accurately, scientific materialism, is a deadly poison disguised as a philosophy. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I'm against science. It's just that I'm against the smug certainty that all that exists is matter, and the thudding, unconscious drumbeat of despair that comes with that mentality. Scientific materialism, taken to its logical conclusion, ends in nihilism, where nothing matters, life is random, life is pointless, you have no soul, no life after death, and no loving creator. Millions of our young men are living in this reality, in depression and in a desperate struggle for meaning. I lived through that reality as a young man myself, and it wasn't pretty. It was downright devastating. It's especially difficult when you also aren't succeeding on a worldly level, when you don't have the health, wealth, relationships, and lifestyle that you want, and you believe human life has no meaning. It seems every week we witness another angry young man shooting up a school or running over a group of people in his car in a desperate act of revenge against a world he believes has wronged him. The media then writes off these acts of aggressions as senseless and looks to point the blame at parents, counselors, and guns. But the truth is, these tragic acts are the result of men living without positive relationships, positive thinking, and even more than that, these are men who are living without a worldly mission and without a sense of spiritual purpose. The end result is tragedy both for the young man and for his victims. The reality is millions of our young men are living without a purpose and are unconscious slaves to the scientific materialism they've been taught in school. Or more accurately, the godless, supposedly objective philosophy they've been indoctrinated into for 40 hours a week over the course of 20 years. That's not to say that science, reason, and logic that you learn in school isn't useful. It is. And that's not to say that our school system and culture is responsible and is to blame for the actions of these young men, because every man is responsible for his own actions. But it is to say that you've been indoctrinated into a philosophy since kindergarten where the message that's been shoved down your throat is that matter is all that exists. And that philosophy, when taken to its logical conclusion, ends in nihilism, where we're nothing more than evolved apes living on an orb spinning through an unfriendly universe with no purpose and no afterlife. And this philosophy is smugly taught as an objective truth. Sure, Western governments and academics give lip service to freedom of religion, but the implied message we get through school and culture is that religious people are stupid and delusional. Instead, we're encouraged to channel our natural spiritual instincts towards materialism in the form of Mother Earth worship and social justice. And that so-called objective materialism is taught as the only reality, when in fact it's just one of thousands of reality tunnels. It just happens to be the one that you are born into at this time of history in Western civilization. And yet, the most dogmatic materialists, the ones that claim to stand for reason, logic, and skepticism, are convinced their philosophy is the one true faith. And they're as dogmatic and aggressive about it as the religious fundamentalists that they hate. The consequences of living with this philosophy has been devastating for our society. The conscious, sensitive, curious, intelligent men take it the worst because they pursue the philosophy to its logical conclusion, which is nihilism. And they end up turning to Reddit or 4chan memes or drugs or alcohol or Twitter activism in a desperate attempt to numb the pain or find some type of purpose. For the unconscious materialist who lives an unexamined life, materialism means living for Facebook timelines, Instagram likes, sex, wine, watching reality TV, and working a mediocre marketing job. Their purpose on the planet is not a concern because their reality is as small as their social circle and no broader than their smartphone. It's no wonder that despite all our progress in technology and all our prosperity, depression is higher than it's ever been. People have never been less mentally healthy. We live in a world where 1 in 6 Americans are on psychiatric meds. But you don't need stats to see it. All you have to do is get on the early morning subway train in a major metropolitan city and look into the eyes of all the people on their way to work. You'd be lucky to see one happy face on that train car full of people living unfulfilled, isolated, atomized lives. If you're atheist or agnostic, I get it. I've been there. And I don't want to preach about spirituality because I'm far from a saint. I just want to open the door just a little bit because I believe spirituality is in your best interests, and I know that you can explore it with logic while still maintaining a healthy respect for science. Because science and the philosophy of soul-crushing scientific materialism are actually two different things. Science is an incredible discipline that has given us incredible technology and has advanced our quality of life tremendously. Scientific or dialectical materialism is the official philosophy of Marx, Engels, Stalin, and the Communist Party, the party that's responsible for 100 million plus deaths in the 20th century. And it's a philosophy built on faulty science. The belief that all reality is material is an outdated mode of thinking embedded in Newtonian physics. While Newtonian physics is a great way to understand the world on a basic level, the latest science has moved well beyond Newton's conclusions. The scientific materialism, reason, and logic you learned in school is a product of Enlightenment-era thinkers. It's hundreds of years old. Newtonian science and the Prussian school system of the 1800s is what you grew up with and what you were indoctrinated with. Some of it is useful, but the philosophy as a whole is archaic. Here's what you've been taught either directly in science class or indirectly through the culture at large. Number 1, everything is essentially mechanical. Number 2, all matter is unconscious. Number 3, nature is purposeless and evolution has no goal or direction. Number 4, minds are inside heads and are nothing but the activities of brains. And number 5, memories are stored as material traces in brains and are wiped out at death. None of these claims are actually scientific, at least not according to the latest research. Chris Draper explains that physicists now believe that quantum mechanics is mind-dependent, meaning the behavior of particles is determined by the act of observation. Therefore, the mind cannot be reduced to matter, because quantum mechanics presupposes the existence of mind. Take another dogma, the belief that everything is mechanical. Again, the problem with this claim is it is based upon an outdated description of the universe purported by Newtonian mechanics. The 21st century revealed that 74% of the mass of the universe is attributed to a mysterious, repulsive force known as dark energy. The remaining 22% is attributed to an unaccounted force known as dark matter. Visible matter as described by Newtonian physics, such as stars, planets, and galaxies, makes up a mere 4% of the universe's mass. The belief that the constants of physics don't vary has also been called into question. Cutting-edge theories in physics, such as string theory, suggest that our universe is just one among many in a so-called megaverse. Rather than existing uniformly throughout the megaverse, the laws of physics vary from one region to the next. Recent science itself no longer supports the scientific materialism we're taught in school and the culture that's grown up around it. Modern science, especially quantum mechanics, tends towards model agnosticism, and they've thrown in the towel on an objective reality. Scientists can only offer their best models as theories like string theory, metaverse theory, and simulation theory. The best and brightest scientific minds have left objective materialism behind and admitted that they don't know how it all works. Scientific materialism is outdated, making us unhappy, and the best and brightest minds of modern science have left it behind and can no longer speak with certainty on the big questions. That's because science does not have the answers to spiritual questions. Science has given us incredible technology like the automobile and the smartphone, but do you know it's even more incredible than that technology? The fact that you actually exist. The fact that you're incarnated into a body to taste, smell, touch, feel, think, and move about in an infinitely expanding universe with billions of other life forms. That is the ultimate miracle. Science can approximate the age of our universe, but science can't tell us what came before matter, energy, space, and time. Science can't tell us what created and sustains matter, energy, space, and time. Science can't tell us why we incarnated into these bodies and what our purpose is while we're here. And science can't tell us what happens after we die. Science does not have answers to what created the world, what sustains it, and why we and all the billions of other life forms are here. Terence McKenna says modern science is based on the principle, give us one free miracle and we'll explain the rest. The one free miracle is the appearance of all the mass and energy in the universe and all the laws that govern it in an instant from nothing. And he's right. Science does not solve why we're here, what our purpose on this planet is, and what happens after we die. Logic can't explain why we exist in an infinitely expanding universe because there is nothing logical about existence. There is nothing logical about the spontaneous creation of matter, energy, time, and space. What created matter, energy, time, and space? Why do we exist as a species? What are we evolving towards? A peer-reviewed study in the latest scientific journal will never have those answers because science is based on measurement, and you can't measure what's beyond measurement. What's beyond time, space, energy, and matter. You cannot measure this. And yet, it is from this great beyond that our very universe exists. It couldn't be any other way. Some people, including myself, call this great formless beyond the Holy Spirit. And it's this Holy Spirit that created the universe. You can use the scientific model of the Big Bang and trace our universe back billions of years, but you ultimately get to a point where matter was spontaneously created by what's beyond matter. There is no way around this fact, and therefore that non-matter or spirit has to be the very essence of matter and what sustains matter to this day, because matter is created out of the spirit and it cannot be separate from that spirit.